Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the Evening Review Show. I'm your host, Jemima Beatrice. Now, the Namibia University of Science and Technology has been in the news for all the wrong reasons in the last few months. And we have in studio today Duminga Ndala from the Landless People's Movement. She is the lead for youth and students affairs at the LPM. And she's going to talk about their views about the situation at NUST, how it's impacting the affairs of students, and just the party's position on the situation there. Thank you for joining us, Duminga.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to your viewers.
Thank you. So, Duminga, you've been following the news, and obviously, as the youth representative, you've also garnered your own insight and knowledge from what is transpiring at the university because of your regular contact with students. So, what is LPM's position on the situation surrounding the issue, the institution?
Thank you for the question, Jemima. I think what we all need to realize or know that the university is tasked to do research, learn, and educate students. But what is currently happening in NUST is the power struggle, number one, and there's also allegations of corruption. Obviously, through our engagement, we have engaged some of the staff members and some of the students, and they've been telling us about how frustrated they are with what is currently happening. There is obviously a division amongst the university's management and as well as the university's council. Some of the members that are part of the university's council, they do not want to provide reports reflecting the operations of the university. That is to speak about the the corruption allegations that have been bestowed upon the Vice Chancellor, that he has actually employed his wife as one of the employees at NUST. Number two, there is allegation that he has been using the university's funds to obviously advance his personal interest. So from perspective of a student, obviously we see that as a crisis because the universities are supposed to be catalysts of transforming society for the greater good of society, like I said. But then if they are entangled into fraudulent activities, if they are entangled into power struggle activities, that will obviously hamper the operations of the university. Students are expected to be back on campus within 3 weeks or so, and there's still this issue that has not been resolved. So our position is that institutions of higher learning should not be used as a guinea pig for fraudulent activities, but they should be there really to educate the students and to also invest in research so that this research is used to promote the interest of society at large.
Now, NUST issued a statement last night, the previous night, saying that some of these issues that you've just raised up hearsay. Now, you just said that you've, as a party, you have engaged staff members and students.
Yes.
Do you agree with NUST that this is just hearsay? Have you seen any documented proof of these allegations?
Well, the issue is not about whether it's hearsay or not, because there are some members of the council that are actually perpetuating to say that these allegations are actually true, and henceforth the chairperson of the council is actually refusing to release a report based on these allegations. I think I have seen an article yesterday where Dr. Michael Humavindu was perpetuating to these allegations that there is allegation of corruption, nepotism, maladministration, and that the fraudulent activities, of course. And of course, when we engaged the staff members, they said this has been an oncoming process or oncoming story, and obviously they are frustrated with the situation, and hence they sort of started leaking information to the media and so forth. So it's not hearsay, and we believe that there is some truth to this. Hence we said that the chairperson of the council should actually give the minister or other council members the report pertaining to all these allegations, or if not, they should perhaps establish an internal investigator to actually look at the situation from an independent perspective. And this is why ACC also has actually decided to also come on board and to investigate these allegations.
So you've raised it, and it has also been out there in the public domain. And the allegations that have been raised include nepotism, as you've said now, tribalism, abuse of power. So as a party, obviously, after you've engaged both the students and the workers, what do you think? Obviously, you would have sat down and looked at ways and means that can be used to address the situation there. What is the LPM's idea as a solution to to curb what is happening there?
I think what should be done is the minister should intervene, because thus far the minister has not taken leadership or has not provided direction and what should be done. Number two, we all know that the council's mandate has ended last week Friday. So we are calling that a new council, new members should be elected, so that these people come up with a fresh mind, come up with a perspective that is independent from the previous council members. Because if we then allow this, the previous council members to continue with their mandate, obviously we are going to have a lot of deficiency in the report. So what we are saying is the minister should take charge, and they should also establish an independent body that will look at the situation and will investigate this matter thoroughly, so that this matter does not affect the operations of the university. Because institutions of higher learning we should not allow institutions of higher learning to deteriorate. This is where research and learning take place. So we should not allow any fraudulent activities. We should not allow it to be a guinea pig of those that are politically connected, or those that want to advance their social interests.
What do you mean when you say politically connected? Is there any reason why you use that word?
Yes, obviously. I mean, if you have to look at most institutions of higher learning, a lot of their chancellors or those that occupy position of power serve in the think tank of the ruling party. So obviously that sort of curtails academic freedom, because now these people's if they have to express their opinions, it's obviously censored, because they serve in the think tank of the ruling party. And this is why you have seen that there is a vacuum within our academic space. Our vice chancellors don't even write books. They do not express themselves on social issues happening, where there is unemployment, where there is climate change, where there is any other issue that is affecting society. And this is because they serve they serve in the think tank of the governing party. I mean, if we do really want to promote academic freedom, we should allow these individuals to be independent from any political party, and they should serve their academic space as they should.
Now, before we go on a break, you're talking about the think tanks of political parties. The chair person of the council is, in fact, part of the think tank of the party, of the ruling party, SWAPO. Do you think that has influenced her work there and her approach to the operations of the NUST?
Most probably, because, she has been complaining that there's been a leakage, obviously, of the information to the media. If you have to look at the report, as other council members have been saying, she is really not speaking about the depth of what is currently happening at the university. She's trying to paint a perfect image of the university. So perhaps somewhere she might have probably been informed to write the report in a certain way that satisfy those that are connected to her, and not really identify what is happening at the university. So one might have said that she's perhaps compromised or influenced thereof.
We're going for a short break, and then we'll be back to this topic.
Thank you.
We will be back in a few minutes.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhh.com.na.
Welcome back. Now, if you've just joined us here on the evening review for this evening, I am joined in studio by Duminga and Ndala. She's the youth and student lead at the Landless People's Movement, LPM. And she's talking to us about the situation at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. NUST has been beleaguered by a number of allegations of corruption, nepotism, and maladministration by its vice chancellor and its some council members. So she is just weighing in on the situation there and how it is impacting students and the day-to-day administration there. Now, Dominga, before we went on a break, you were talking about the likelihood that the ruling party might interfere in the affairs of the Namibia University in Science and Technology. As LPM, what have you considered, have you looked at ways and means to address the situation, to make sure that members of the political ruling parties or political parties are not in top management or councils of institutions like this that ought to be independent?
Yes, I think obviously as a party, we have echoed our position a long time ago that I think under the current circumstances, that is not right, especially those that occupy a high position in the academic space, that they serve in the ruling party think tank. Because obviously, like we have perpetrated already, that sort of curtail academic freedom. These individuals won't be able to express themselves as they should be. A classical example, I think 2 weeks ago or so, when I have engaged some of the lecturers at the University of Namibia, they were complaining as to how they are being called in by their superiors because they are now dominating the media space. They are expressing themselves on various issues, on various social issues that are affecting the country. And when they were called in by their supervisors, they were actually told that I think you should slow down on expressing your views. Already, if you have somebody if you have a chancellor that serves in the think tank of the ruling party, obviously that chancellor will sort of curtail the freedom of the lecturers to express themselves as they should be. So already that tells us that there is some sort of a censoring of lecturers, that they should not express themselves on various issues affecting the country. And also the vice chancellors, they will just be there as administrators, but they will not be there as leaders that should serve society, that should serve the university, and that should serve the country at large. So what we are saying is those that occupy positions or high strategic positions in the academic space, I don't think it's necessary for them to serve in the think tank of the governing party or any other political party. And number two, what we are saying is if they then serve in those think tanks, perhaps they should understand the notion of academic freedom. They should sort of also be very active in society, and they should take a biased approach. But I think what is best is for them not to serve in those structures or to be actively in those structures, because that sort of bring in the issues of biasness, and bring in the issue of them censoring their lecturers, censoring their administrators, and censoring the university at large, and just operating the university in the interest of the governing parties as opposed to society and the university at large.
Now, speaking about censoring and the operations of an institution, you have engaged, you are the student lead for LPM, and you are obviously very present at institutions like NUST and UNAM. Now, this situation at NUST in particular, how would you say has it impacted the students at that university and the day-to-day operations of NUST?
Well, in terms of students, like we have engaged them, there were some exams that were cancelled, and obviously there are some times when they have to ask few things related to their academic life, and they were not provided with those information. And administrators, like we are saying, they are very frustrated, especially with the transformation that is happening. Some people are being laid off because of issues that are not really pertinent. And some administrators are under surveillance because they are being accused that they are the ones that are leaking the information. So obviously there is some sort of tension between administrators. There is some sort of there's tension between administrators. Some administrators or staff members, they live in fear because they are being accused of things that they have not done. And also we have seen some have also complained that the Vice Chancellor has actually embarked on removing or reforming the university by letting go of foreign lecturers and putting in Namibian lecturers, which is a good thing, but we are just saying that it should be done in a way that is proper and that is proper and that is relevant to the realities of the university. So there is a lot of discontentment amongst the students and as well as the administrators, the staff members. So, and this is why we are saying that perhaps in Namibia, we have a leadership crisis. We have not seen any leadership skills from the Vice Chancellor. He has not really come out to pronounce himself, or he has not really said something to show that he's also interested in solving this issue at the university. So definitely there's a leadership crisis, and if it's not resolved, the university is going to deteriorate, unfortunately, and this is going to impact a lot of students.
So how do you think you've some of the things that you've said is you've called on for obviously the minister to pronounce herself on the situation, mm-hmm. and also to appoint a new council. So in your view, what do you think should this council do to make sure that there are proper reforms brought about?
What the council should do is to, like I said, to carry out a thorough investigation, because the reputation of the university is at hand here. They sort of have to reshape the reputation of the university because it's at hand. So perhaps carry out a thorough investigation and provide the recommendations. Based on the recommendations, then we should implement whatever comes out. And going forward, the minister should see to it, or the council should see to it, that there's no factionalism amongst the council's management, so that the university is smoothly run. Because, like I said, we do not want a case where when students go back to campus, there's still this entanglement between the members of the council or the university at large, and the students will be affected because some of these lecturers might not even go and teach the students because of the situation at hand. So what we are saying is a deep investigation should be done, and an independent body should be established so that they carried out this investigation without fear and favor.
So in conclusion, you've said that you've remarked on the recruitment of local, the replacement, yes, of foreign lecturers with local lecturers, and you said that you've called for a more a situation where the changes are relevant. Can you please elaborate on that? Are you implying that some lecturers are not necessarily qualified or experienced local lecturers?
Well, I think the university's mandate, requirement is that as long as if you have a master's degree, then you can teach at any institution of higher learning. With the experience, it's not really, they don't really emphasize on experience. But what we are saying is, if we are going to employ local lecturers, they should be done in a manner that there's a vacancy, number one, and number two, that there's a need for local lecturers to be employed. If we then embark on a process where we replace foreign lecturers just to accommodate local lecturers, then there's a problem, because these foreign lecturers have been there in the system. They have the expertise and their experience, so they could also sort of contribute to the greater good of the university. So what we are saying is there should be a fair balance of between foreign lecturers and as well as local lecturers, because yes, we do want to promote and to empower our local lecturers, but the process should not be done where the other party suffers, but we should find a better modality as to how we are going to recruit both, whether foreign lecturers or local lecturers.
Thank you very much for joining us on this show.
Thank you for having me.
Duminga. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good time.